Hello, as you can see we've moved on a long way since last time. This is where we're up to. Quite a lot of it put together and painted. I'll show you on the instructions where we've been, and we have set 8, 9, 10. I left the fuel tanks for a little while. I'll tell you why in a second. Set 11, 12, there's more, 13, 14 and 15. Okay, now the reason being that I've done so many is I forgot all about making the video, but hey, we've got it now. So 8 and 9 fairly straightforward, simply putting the tug bar and shock absorbers on. Okay, pretty easy, nothing dramatic there at all. Number 10, this little bit of PE here glues onto the frame, onto the axle hanger, but I would advise you, if you're going to do it, glue to the sides as well. When you put it on, it looks as though it only glues to the back, but if you glue it to the sides as well, because it keeps bending up every time you touch the model. As you can see, it's green. At one point I left it when I first got it, I'll tell you why in a second. And I moved on to number 11 and built the whole radiator. I also left these bits of PE. The reason being, I did originally make a homemade bender, which I thought, oh, that'll be easy. What can go wrong with that? And it's simply, the parts are far too small to bend with anything but the purpose-made machine. So I invested in this, can you see it there? 32 quid, which wasn't too bad at all. It's a really heavy lump of steel, a couple of thumb screws, pull them out, you get one of the old safety razors with it, and these tiny slots here are ideal for the tiny pieces of photo etch that you're going to have to bend. You've also got to bend some of the photo etch in several different directions, so you really do need this thing. Any long pieces that you need to bend, you can do on the back there, pretty easy. So that was another 32 quid into the pot. Where are we up to? Just move that there. So photo etch, I left it all until the bending machine arrived. And as you can see, there's photo etch on the top of the radiator. There's a couple of weirdly bent pieces here that hold the wings on, the mudguards on. A couple of tiny little pieces on the back of the ramps, the ski ramps for the fifth wheel. I'll show a photograph of this one in particular. Move my fingers out of the way. This one in particular, so you get an idea of the scale you've got to bend the photo etch into, and it really is tiny. You need to make 2 of them. Then I went on to making all these bits, and what I did basically, and again I'll put a series of photographs on just after this bit that I'm talking about now. I made all of these bits and then painted them separately, painted the whole of the chassis, as you can see, painted it all up, mashed it out. I'll put a photograph of that on as well. Put a couple of scratch marks on the fifth wheel, painted the radiator black, air horns on there, little silver caps on the fuel tanks, the photo etch on the fuel tanks and the steps on the fuel tanks. Again, really tiny stuff. These 2 mud flaps are both photo etch. The tray underneath that toolbox is photo etch. The top of the radiator is photo etch. There are 2 shields. You may or may not be able to see them. There and there. I'm guessing that they're guards so that you can't accidentally stick your hand into one of the engine fans. But they're both photo etch, and the instructions don't aren't very clear on how or where to stick them on. I'm guessing nothing else goes near them, so it doesn't really matter. That's about where we're up to at the moment. As you can see, the painting's gone well. I'll put a little video of the spray booth that I made to paint use a spray painter. Again, nearly 200 quid to buy one purpose made. A tenner to buy some foam board and make your own. So basically what I did was I sprayed all the chassis, then sprayed all the bits and pieces. As I say, I'll put some photographs on, then glued them on. Obviously you need to, if you're going to do that, you need to mask everything out very carefully. Building up the wings, again, was really quite easy. This is the piece that I was talking to you about. Here, it simply says stick it onto there and there, but there's no indication of where exactly it should go. The indication for these pieces of PE that are part of the mudguards is a little bit vague as well, although if you look very carefully on the wing itself, on the mud wing itself, there is a raised bit to stick that onto. Again, fairly straightforward. I'm guessing it suggests that you paint those two mud flaps black. Hey ho, I paint them green. I've left all the lights off. I'm not putting any of the lights on until I've finished the whole of the tractor, so that I don't paint them any other colour than they're meant to be. And I've bought some transparent paint. These little tiny metal bars, if you put everything together properly, they fit perfectly. Just plonk straight in. On the model itself, the fiddly bits that you might come across, well, you will come across if you build it, little tiny pipes here, and another one on there, and same on the other side. Some of these pipes are quite hard to get into, and also some of the parts on the inside here, they've got the steering rods underneath there that you may or may not be able to see. And as I mentioned in the past, if you put all this together then try and paint it, you're going to have real problems. Nothing else that I can think of. There's the piece that glues onto the mudguard that I've already mentioned. Nothing else that I can think of that's at all difficult, and it's really starting to take shape now. Next on the instructions is to move on to building the cab. So what we'll do next time is we'll do, where are we? We'll do 16, 17, and maybe a little bit of 18. What I am going to do is buy a photo etch kit for the cab. That's about all I can show you at the moment. Ta-da!